Okay, this is a beginner project for the Raspberry Pi. What we've got here is an iPhone detector that will alert your friends or family when you return home. It's just a simple Raspberry Pi Python script that will detect when your smartphone comes in close proximity to your home Wi-Fi network, and then it will fire off an email and a text message to your family or friends with an alert. I use this project so that when I pull in the driveway after work, it will fire off an alert to my wife instead of having to manually text her every day. Okay, so to get started, just go here and download the source code for the project to get started. So what do you need for this project? You need a Raspberry Pi. This is a basic Raspberry Pi. It's 35 bucks on Amazon. And you'll see that I have a USB adapter for mine, USB Wi-Fi adapter, but you can do this project using the Pi's built-in Ethernet port as long as your Pi is on the same network as the device that you're trying to detect. So that's very important. Okay, a couple of assumptions. A few assumptions. One, this project assumes that you have the Raspberry Pi up and running, either the Raspbian desktop or just a terminal command prompt. And that your Pi has an active internet connection, either via Wi-Fi or Ethernet. Two, that you carry a smartphone with you that uses your home Wi-Fi network. For instance, my iPhone automatically rejoins my home Wi-Fi network when I pull in the driveway. Three, this project assumes that you've already downloaded Nmap to your Raspberry Pi. If you don't know what Nmap is or you don't already have it, just click on LX Terminal on the Raspbian desktop and type this. 4, make sure the clock, the system clock on your Raspberry Pi is set accurately. This should be done automatically, but just double check it. So those are the assumptions for the project. Here's how it works. The program constantly searches your home Wi-Fi network for what's known as your smartphone's MAC address. The MAC address is a bunch of letters and numbers that uniquely identify your smartphone. When the program finds your smartphone on the network, it'll fire off an email and a text message, but only if it already hasn't sent an alert that day, and it'll also make sure that you're within a specific time window. For instance, mine will only alert once a day and only from 4 to 9 p.m. Okay, so to find your smartphone's MAC address, just go into your iPhone or Android, go into iPhone settings, tap on General, tap on About, and look for something labeled Wi-Fi address, and then write that down. You're going to need it. That's your MAC address. Then go into your Raspberry Pi desktop, double click on an icon labeled idle, then open the code that you just downloaded from Just Paste It, and the file should be named iphonescan.py. Okay, before you fire it up, you'll need to edit that file that you opened up in a few places. Those places are clearly marked at the top of the file in red with asterisks. Just leave all the quotes where they are, just change the green text. First, you're going to need to type in your smartphone's MAC address that you just wrote down. It should be labeled iPhone MAC within the program. Second, you'll need to type in the email address that you want to send alerts to. This should be labeled to email. Third, you'll need to type in the email address that you want to send alerts from. So that should be labeled from email, and then you'll need the password for that account as well. This code does assume that you're using a Gmail account, so you'll have to make some modifications if you're using some other provider. Okay, so go ahead and fire it up in idle. Just click on Run, and then click on Run Module. It'll probably ask you to save the file first. Just click OK. You'll see a Python shell pop up and give you a readout of what the program is doing. The program is meant to loop forever, so to stop the program, just hit Control-C on your keyboard, and that'll break out. One thing to note, the first time you run this program and try to send an email or a text message alert, Gmail is going to choke and you're not going to be able to send an email out. So when this happens the first time, just log into your Gmail account from a laptop and you'll see that Google sent you a security alert. Just follow the instructions to change your security settings so that Gmail will let your Raspberry Pi log into your Gmail account, and then the Python program will work as intended from that point forward. That should be all you need to do to get this project up and running. There's no need for a GSM add-on board for the Raspberry Pi for this project. To send a text message, all you need to do is send an email to your phone number at text.att.net or at Verizon, at T-Mobile, and that alert will be sent as a text message to your phone. Also, I set this alert, my program up to only alert during a narrow time window, Monday through Friday, 4 to 9 p.m. You can modify this time window by editing the if statement inside the code. A few more issues. I thought this program might contribute to a slowdown on my Wi-Fi network from constantly nmapping the network, but I found that it has almost no impact whatsoever. The reason I have to nmap the network repeatedly is there's no way to directly query a MAC address. The only way to reliably query your smartphone is to query all the IPs on your subnet and then look up the MAC for each one of those IPs. And then parse those results for the specific MAC. A lot simpler way to do this would be to just set up a static IP for your smartphone and just periodically ping that specific IP and avoiding having to nmap your entire network. I didn't do this because I didn't want people to have to make any modifications to their home network for this project. I tried to keep the code really simple. If you want to modify, one thing to consider would be to put the program to sleep whenever you're not within that time window that you'd send an alert. This would really reduce the load on the network. The current code scans the network regardless of whether the program would actually send an alert if it detected something. There's almost no error checking in this code. I try to keep it really short and simple. Everything's hard-coded in there. The program's called iPhone Scan, but it really worked for any smartphone. One thing I did notice when I was nmapping my home network, Nmap was a little inconsistent for me. I found that my iPhone generated enough traffic for Nmap to detect it when I pulled in the driveway, but when the iPhone was put to sleep sitting on my desk, Nmap was not finding it. But it works for this project. So that's it for this project. Thanks for listening.